Hello everybody, my name's Nicola and welcome back to my channel. This is the Frugal Cottage, where we talk about all things money and help you on your financial journey. Today is Vlogmas Day 7 and I'm talking about how to prepare for and have a no spend month. Don't forget to like and subscribe and let's get started. So yes, I'm probably thinking ahead to kind of January here rather than at the moment, but this is all about how to have a no spend month, what you should do before you start, and then what happens through the process. Like I said, don't forget to subscribe and like because it helps me out in the meantime. So, a no spend month. Now if you've followed my channel for a while, you know that I track no spend days. I have monthly aims in terms of those, but how do you go about, and this is someone who's trying to have a no spend a year this year, how do you go about having a no spend month and how do you prepare for that? So before you start, I've got 7 things that I feel like you should do before you attempt a no spend month, and then some suggestions after that as to how to go through the process to make it as smooth as possible. So the first thing to do is to write down all your direct debits, all your fixed expenses, just so you know what they add up to and when they come out of the bank. So I've got most of ours set up now so that they come out in either the 1st of the month or the 9th of the month, I think it is now. I've changed them recently, and that's mainly because, you know, we get paid at the end of the month and then the 1st of the month after that is when they all go out, and then it kind of gives you an idea of what you've got left in terms of, you know, the bigger bills have gone already. So that's the first thing to do. If you don't know that already, then just to write those down and see what they all add up to. You might even find something in there that's a surprise that you can get rid of, and that would save you some money. The second thing to do is to do an inventory of your food cupboards. Now I've got a really popular blog post on how to start a stockpile, and then there's a part 2 on how to organise your stockpile, so I'll leave a link below to those. But have a look in what you've got in your food cupboards already. Get things out, check sell by dates, use by dates, that kind of thing, and see just what you've got in there. And so that should give you an idea of what you don't need to buy during the month. It's just an idea to give you kind of a starting point where you're already not buying stuff. So you need to think about, in terms of like, so you've got canned items or tinned items, how many kind of things of cereal have you got? How many kind of non-perishable things have you got? What have you got in your freezer that, you know, all those types of things. Have a look first. Have just a bit of a sort out of stuff. That always helps. And then the third thing, and it links to point number 2, the third thing is to meal plan as many meals as you can with things that you already have in your house. So I know, for example, because I was doing this yesterday as an inventory, that we've got a lot of tinned tomatoes at the moment. I tend to buy a couple of tins a week because it's that cupboard staple. It goes in lots of things. We tend to use kind of 1, 2, maybe 3 tins a week. However, for some reason, I've suddenly got a bit of a surplus on tinned tomatoes, so I know that when I go food shopping next time, I need to write on the shopping list to not buy tinned tomatoes because we don't need any. But the third point, meal planning as many meals as you can from things you've got already. I think most people will be surprised by how many meals they could make from things they already have in at home. So things in the freezer, in the cupboards. Just have a look around, see the kind of things that you can make up from things you've already got. See if you can make like 3 meals, 4 meals, 5 meals out of what you've got already. I feel like most of us could probably make about 5 meals without even thinking about it with things we've got in the store, in stock already. So have a look at those and get started. I'll leave a link below to the meal planner that I use to plan all of our meals. I love it, it's really good, it makes it really clear. It also has a monthly overview where you can see just what you're doing. I think this would really help in this circumstance because you can kind of see an overview of what you're having for the rest of the month. Number 4 is to plan things that do not cost anything to do. So it might be slightly trickier, especially in kind of current circumstances, but also in the winter months, to find things that you can do that don't cost you anything. Obviously in the summer months it's a lot easier to get outside and do things that don't cost you anything, but there are things you could do, even if that's just getting out for a walk each day, 30 minutes, get some fresh air, change your scene, that kind of thing. But plan to do things that don't cost money. If you've got, so I remember doing this in a previous one, I saved my Costa points. Now you'll know that I'm a big Costa fan, I've talked about that before on this channel, but I'd save them and use them during a no spend month to get like a takeaway coffee kind of maybe halfway through, because I remember going, and it felt like such a treat because I'd used my points, so it didn't cost me anything, but it was something really nice and not particularly over the top, but definitely have things to kind of keep you going during the process that don't cost money. I will leave a link to a blog post about things to do that are free, and see if you can find anything on there that would be useful for you during a no spend month. Now, number 5 might seem a bit of a cheat, but I think it counts in the sense that you would need to do this anyway, and it's just about being prepared. And number 5 is to fill your car with petrol if you have one, or like load some money onto your Oyster card if you use them, or whatever you use as your travel. Kind of be prepared and get that topped up if you can. I fill our car with petrol every time I go shopping, so on a weekly basis. I haven't had to ever use the train for work, so I don't know quite how that would work. I don't know if you can top up things or not, I don't know. But definitely be organised in the sense that you are just sorting out your life before you start this, and petrol for me is one of those. Number 6 is to think about spending versus non-spending. Now, this might seem really obvious, but I think when you do a no spend month, it really challenges you, especially if you're someone who spends kind of little amounts often. It kind of challenges you to think about that and about why. I use my really trusty no spend day tracker. I've got one available in my Etsy store, and it's also part of my budget planner, which I use. You know that I talk about that all the time. But start tracking your no spend days and see where your kind of patterns emerge, because we've all got spending patterns, whether we are aware of them or not. So for me, I know that at this current time, Fridays are a trigger because I don't work on a Friday. It's the end of the week, I've made it, and I always feel like I should treat myself on a Friday because I've made it to the end of the week, and it's a day when I don't work. So when you track your spending versus non-spending, you might see patterns emerge as to when you spend, what days you spend, is it certain times, is it like online, all that kind of stuff, and it does open your eyes. I love tracking no spend days. Like I said, I use my tracker every month. I have done for, I was going to say years, and it is years now, and it really is eye-opening if you've not done it before. And 7, so this again is before you start, but write down your goals and the reasons why you're attempting this challenge. So is it because you find yourself like mindlessly spending every day and you want to kind of like get that habit kind of stopped? Do you want to save some extra money because maybe you've overspent a month? Write down your goals, the why, and then why you're attempting this challenge in particular. Having some kind of motivation as to why you're doing something is always beneficial when you're doing some kind of challenge, and for lots of people a no spend month is definitely a challenge. And then from day 1 until day whichever, 30, 31, take each day as it comes. There's no point thinking about it as entirety. If it's a new thing, literally take each day as it comes. Reflect when you get to the end of a day. Have you spent today? Have you not spent today? How are you feeling? That kind of thing. You might find as it goes on, the no spending gets easier because the pressure to spend is less. And I know that might sound weird, but the more you get used to the system, actually it's easier not to spend money, and it might make spending money that much more difficult. I know that sounds strange, but it definitely, especially if you've had like a row of no spend days, and say you've got like 5 no spend days in a row, you might then think, well, I want to get another one now, rather than spending it. It kind of does strange things to your mindset, which is a positive thing. But definitely think about why you're doing this, and take each day. I like to do some kind of like reflection on an evening, so I do my budget routine. It takes about 10 minutes, and part of that is reflection on if I've spent or not, and filling in my no spend day tracker. And also, if you're saving all this extra money because you're someone who's literally gone cold turkey on spending and said no, enough is enough, where is that extra money going to go? Make that decision. Make it a good decision. Is it going to go in your emergency fund? Is it going to go in your sinking funds? Are you going to treat yourself to something that you've wanted for a while because you've made really positive changes within your financial life? Make sure you make a decision and have a plan for those extra savings, just so it doesn't disappear in the ether of kind of everyday life. And that is how you prepare and have a no spend month. I am definitely looking forward to a reset in January already. I know it's only the start of December, but I feel like December is such a kind of money focused time. We've got family birthdays, it's Christmas, you know, it just seems to be really expensive, and January seems to be a good point to have that reset and start again and focus and whatever. So yeah, let me know if you're thinking about having a no spend month. Do you have any questions about them? I do no spend months quite often. Like I said, I've also done a no spend year during 2020, which I'll leave a link below too. But let me know what your thoughts and feelings are about that. As always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow for Vlogmas Day 8.